All right, real quick story time here for you guys in real estate. As you know, I've been a real estate agent for well over 12 years here in the Arizona market. I am a flat fee agent, so I help a lot of families save a ton of money when selling their homes with a $3,000 flat fee. Here's the name of my company. But anyhow, I gotta give you this story from one of my past sellers, something you should never ever do if you're looking at selling a home down the road. So this seller used to be a former executive, high up the ladder, pretty much, you know, I get pretty big personality sets, if you know what I mean. And so I always just take it with a grain of salt, and I just told the clients, hey, beautiful home, 6,000 square foot home. In this area, we should probably price it right around 1.8, 1.9. They're like, no, that's too low. We want to go at 2.2. I said, you know what? I'll humor it. We'll see if the market will, bear the highest willingness to pay, and that would be around that range. I always tell my clients, I write out a bell curve. I say, look, you want to be plus or minus one standard deviation from the mean of comps or average sales. And the three variables that always sell real estate is price, location, condition. However, there is a fourth variable, and that fourth variable that the data set never provides us is the idiosyncratic nature that is residential real estate buyers as opposed to commercial. Because commercial, people are basically buying property based on net operating income or discounted cash flow analysis. Very straightforward, very dry stuff. However, in residential, people buy because of the emotions, or grandma lives down the street, or my sister lives down the street, whatever that looks like. Sometimes people will pay more than what the data represents. Given that, this client sits on the market for several months now, and we finally get a buyer. They came in at 1.7. I said, don't get mad at this offer. This is a good offer. They wanted to just completely dismiss it. I said, please don't do that. Please counter. They countered. They were already from 2.2 reducing down to about 2,500,000. This offer was at 1.7. They countered back at 1.95. I said, now you're in that range I told you that the data set was telling us to be around in that bell curve. And again, they would not meet in the middle at 1.85 when that buyer was willing to do that. They refused to come off 1.95. So I lost the listing a couple weeks after that negotiation. Fine with me. They relisted it with the luxury broker, paid full 6% commission on it, and a year later to this month, they finally got that house sold for, guess what, 1.85. This is how much money that seller lost over a 1-year timeline. The time value to money is critical. Some sellers do not realize this when they sell their homes. Had they sold a year ago and cleared that $1 million from the home and put it in an S&P index fund that's at 19% year-to-date performance, they would have made $190,000 on that million sitting in an S&P fund for that year's time. Moral of the story, time value to money is so much more important than waiting out the perfect buyer, guys.